A question for you, if you are waiting to be raptured. But first, let's see if we can agree on something. Not one word of the Bible was written to you or to me. Not one word, none of it. But, could we say it was written for us? Sure, we could. As we should. And we do. Can God speak to us through the Bible today? Of course He can. And He does. But it was not written to you. And it's a difference that makes a very big difference. It will keep you from some really bad errors. But it might also cause you to question some things. Here is an example of a really good question. If the Great Tribulation is global, why did Jesus only tell those living in Judea to flee to the mountains? A good question, indeed. Ask questions. God will not be mad at you. But let's not believe what we believe just because we were taught to believe that we have to believe what we were taught to believe. Here is a quote from the man who first translated the Bible into English in 1535. It shall greatly help ye to understand the Scriptures, if thou mark not only what is spoken or written, but of whom, and to whom, with what words, at what time, where, to what intent, with what circumstances, considering what goeth before, and what followeth after. Miles Coverdale. Yes, we can find all sorts of awesome things in the Bible and apply them to ourselves, but not specific events. Yes, we can learn lessons from history, I hope. But specific events happen specifically, when they specifically happen. For example, I am not looking for Priscilla and Aquila so that I can greet them. And I am not waiting for Timothy to ring my doorbell. And I am not going to build an ark in my backyard. Obviously, neither Paul nor God himself was talking to me. Okay. Let's go to a few scriptures. 1 Corinthians 15:51. Paul is writing to the Corinthians, 2,000 years ago. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep. Meaning, we shall not all die. But, we shall all be changed. Paul told them that not all of them were going to die. Instead, they would all be changed. They believed it. They believed this was for them. It was written to them. And it was for them. Not us. Next verse. In a moment. In the twinkling of an eye. At the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible. And we shall be changed. Sounds like the rapture, the end times, the last days. Doesn't it? Yet, this is to them. And about them. And if the Bible is true, and it is, then this all somehow had to have happened to them, no matter what we think it should have looked like. Let's read about the same event in 1 Thessalonians 4:15-18. Remember, every time you see the word we, it's them. For we say this to you, by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive, and remain, until the coming of the Lord, will by no means precede those who are asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. Then, we who are alive and remain, shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And thus, we shall always be with the Lord. Therefore, comfort one another, with these words. So now, here comes the question. One word. When?
Yeah.
Paul clearly told them that they would be alive when all these things happen. The sounding of the last trumpet, the return of Christ, the resurrection of the dead, the rapture. All of these things refer to an event that most of us have only been taught is still in our future. But we just read 3 different times, Paul telling them that they would see this in their lifetimes. And that would had to have been sometime in the 1st century, right? Why else would Paul tell them to comfort each other with these words? What comfort would they get from being told that all this would happen to future people? 2,000 years in the future, and still counting. What comfort to them? None whatsoever. These guys were going through big-time tribulation. And throughout Paul's letters, over and over, it's always them who were looking for Christ's soon return. Soon, at hand, at the door, quickly, has come near, about to come. Waiting for Jesus to come from heaven and deliver them from the coming wrath. Paul would never have lied like that, to give them false hope in something that wasn't going to happen. Or maybe Paul was sincere, but just mistaken. I don't think so. Or, is it possible that Paul was right, and the Bible is true? And maybe we have been looking at it wrong.